Hi everyone, my name is Pramod and I welcome you to the brand new show called pramotivation.com. Today I am accompanied with Ruchika Pandey from London, and what sets her apart from people like you and me is the plunge that she took in her life from a corporate life to that of a yogini. So welcome Ruchika, thank you so much for taking out time for us and talking to us.
Thanks, Pramod. I'm so glad that I'm interacting with you because I'm so comfortable with you. So thank you so much for having me.
So, Ruchika, the first obvious question that I would like you to answer is, tell us more about your journey from a successful individual in corporate life to that of a yogini. Please.
Sure. So, Pramod, the journey that I have had so far, the one word that I'm going to use is unconventional, because it's not normal that you have all the financial comforts and that salary coming into your account month on month, that cushion to fall back on, and then you let go of all of that and then you decide to become a yogini, which people often get confused with, that oh my god, has she taken sannyas, or what is she going to do? And a lot of people got very curious about it, and so many people wrote about it, wrote to me about it. And so the journey has been unconventional, and I'm not here to talk bad about my corporate career, because the journey that I've had with this big brand names has taught me a lot, and in fact it has made me the person that I am today. I learned how to take appreciation, how to take rejection, how to become a part of a big team, how to manage a big team without hurting people's sentiment, and going about managing tasks, and doing so many things that I have learned during my corporate journey. It has made me who I am. However, a part of me was always dreaming about the life outside of the corporate world. What is it like to do things that makes you happy? What is it like to pursue all those endless opportunities outside of the corporate world? So my heart always wondered, and that's why finally one day I decided to quit my job and take that plunge. And here I am, like I said, and have written about this, that success is not how people showcase it to be. It is not about driving that expensive car, it's not about owning that big house. It is what you feel. So success is what you want, and how much do you want. Does this make you happy? Does it make me happy? Yes, it makes me very happy to practice yoga on a daily basis. And the only yoga that I got to do when I was in my corporate journey was with my fingers. So there was not much time for me to practice on a daily basis, because I always used to push. I was always a person who would want to get to the next level. If I was a manager, I wanted to become a senior manager. If I was a senior manager, I wanted to become a general manager. So there was always this milestone set for me. And me being the person that I was, I always wanted to achieve more and get to the next level, which happened. I got to a senior leadership level, and I got all my annual raises and bonuses. All that happened for me. But even then, there were these limitations, the organizational limits, because every organization has a motto or an objective that they're working for. So you can't go into a corporate industry and be like, I want to practice yoga on a daily basis. That can't happen. So if you want to do what you want to do, then you have to take that risk also. So I have taken those risks, and I'm not here to tell people to take that risk. It is their call, what they want to do. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for the choices that you make, and I'm responsible for the choice that I made in my life. And I'm happy. Will you call me successful? I will call myself successful, and it really doesn't matter to me what the world thinks of success in their heads. This is success for me, and I'm pretty happy and content in doing what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. I think, at the end, all that matters is how you feel from inside. Very well said, Ruchika. You just mentioned you've become a yogini. Now, all of us have a conventional picture in our heads that a yogini is supposed to look like this. A yogini is supposed to be doing this and lead a life which is like this. You don't look like that yogini that we have in our minds. So you have to tell us a little bit more about what this term yogini means and in your context, and let people know about this so-called misconception that may exist in their heads as well.
Sure. And I'm glad that you brought it up because, a lot of people contacted me and they were so curious to know about this, that, yogini, it sounds like a sadhvi. Sadhvi is a different person and yogini is a different person. And it's not about wearing saffron clothes and eating plant-based diets. No, that's not what yogini is all about. You could be, and people talk about detachments, that you have to detach yourself from this, from worldly pleasures. No, I don't want to do all of that. I want to live more of life. I want more of this world. I want more of the cultures or the lifestyles which are being offered. I'm here for the wellness part of it. I'm here to reach that heightened level of consciousness. For you to get to that level, you need to practice. You could be the person that I am today. You could wear the clothes that you wear. You could wear makeup. You could wear whatever clothes that you want to wear and still practice yoga, still practice things that dhyana, and still practice pranayama and be in touch, in sync with yourself. So there is no bookish definition to it. However, some people did bring this to my notice, that in the ancient books there is a definition for a yogini, but maybe those are the ancient methods of living a life. Now the time has changed. People are evolving. People are more accepting, and I have seen people who are taking the plunge at the age of 50. I've seen a man who's 50 and who has just started his career in modeling. So people are doing things, and you are getting inspired, and you're inspiring people as well while you're on this journey. So it is about your choice, what makes you happy. And being a yogini does not necessarily mean that you have to wear a certain kind of clothes and eat a certain kind of food. It is about being in sync with yourself and feeling alive. And I think you can do all of that and have your own choices. Lord Buddha also detached himself from a lot of regular ways of life, because he decided to do that. You don't have to be a Lord Buddha to do to have a lifestyle like that. You can do all the things that you want to do and still practice yoga, and still practice dhyana, still practice pranayama.
Thank you so much for the clarification. I think this definitely clarified the question that most of us would have had in our minds when somebody talks that I want to be a yogini. So to make it more relevant in today's time, a person who works on softwares is called a software developer. The same way somebody who's working on yoga and who's a female is called a yogini. So
correct.
Put it in the right context. All right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you seem to be a person who spreads so much of positivity, who's got some positive vibes as somebody comes and talks to you. The same feeling I'm having right now as I'm talking to you. So you definitely have to tell all the viewers where you get so much of positivity, and also if you can share your thoughts on how we can lead a life which is full of happiness, containment and success at large.
Sure. Thank you for that compliment. I realized while I was on my corporate journey that what we do is we use our energy inefficiently. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. We are so engrossed in our day-to-day caregiving responsibilities that we do not realize that our energies are being drained out, and we are not able to utilize our energy efficiently. So all I would say is, and the message that you asked me to give is, use your energy efficiently. Finding a purpose is a long-term journey. Maybe today I feel that being a yogini is my purpose of life. Maybe tomorrow, when I'm 50 or maybe at a later part of my life, I will realize that this is not exactly what I wanted to do. So purpose is something that you can realize at any stage of your life. Whenever you do find your purpose, please focus on what you want to do, because that is where you should be spending your energy, and you'll be able to do justice to that cause. So utilize your energies efficiently. And neuroscience has also proved that, if you practice a certain kind of positivity in your brain, you can put your brain to you can set your brain for miracles. So you can make a difference if you utilize your energies efficiently. How you do that is through yoga practices, dhyana and pranayam. And pranayam is something that I always do on an every single day basis. And meditation is something that I follow on a daily basis. So these are the practices which makes you more alive and makes you more in sync with yourself. And I read in a book that ego is not your amigo. So if you are somebody who operates from a state of being an egoistic or an ego person, then you will not be able to connect yourself to God. If you want to connect yourself to God, then you have to operate from a state of selflessness, and just keep practicing these asanas and dhyana, and it will connect you to your own self.
Thank you. I think some great insights being shared by Ruchika. I thank you again for your time, for your valuable insights that you just shared. And I wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors. And thank you all the viewers for watching. This is Pramod Malu signing off from pramotivation.com. See you soon. Thank you.